Hello and welcome to Life with Francie podcast, a place where you will find all types of conversation like self-love, self-care, trauma, hobbies, and more. With this podcast, I want to create a place where we support one another in personal and business life. Hope you enjoy this episode. Now, let's get the show started. On today's episode, I am so excited because it's the second guest that I have known face to face. So give me a break over here. I'm like, oh, too excited. But today we're gonna be talking to Marisa Cairns. Oh, I didn't ask her
Cairns.
how. Okay, there you go.
Cairns.
She
No, that's good. Just like Australia.
nice. She is a transformational life coach who works with highly committed and motivated individuals to help them discover their self limiting belief, reprogram their self conscious mind, and align to their true passion and purpose. We met through the amazing Portia Newton, and I'm always talking about her since she's been my coach for 2 years. And we just went to her Majesty retreat. So there's a lot to unpack in this interview. But let's get started. Welcome, Marisa. Tell us, what is life with you?
Thank you, Francie. Life's pretty exciting with me. I'm not going to lie. Lots going on right now. I am celebrating the book that I published a chapter in that we kind of spoke about. And I have it here, the She Speaks Her Truth, Women's World Changing the World, Women's Words, excuse me, Changing the World. I haven't had my coffee yet this morning, which I was really proud of, that talks about my kind of emotional and mental breakdown in 2009, actually, where I had my suicide attempt. But since then, I've been on a path of healing and self-discovery and self-love and worth. And you've been a part of that journey. So I'm blessed to have had joined you at that retreat with the famous Portia Newton. And yeah, since then, I've moved back from Arizona back home to Washington, my home state. Did my spiritual journey kind of after my abuser passed away. I left Washington for a year and a half, and just getting back on the track of helping my clients to succeed, seeing what their self-limiting beliefs are and where they're getting stuck in their life, how I can help guide them, and just helping them go from surviving to thriving again. I just love what I do, and I'm passionate about it. I am still working on my solo book, Living Unashamed, and trying to get that out and published for everyone. So sexual abuse survivors know that they're not alone and they don't have to suffer in silence. You and I know that journey all too well. And it's one of the things that I've been called to do. So yeah, just lots of exciting changes going on right now.
I see, and I'm so proud of yourself. You
Thank
started with
you.
celebration, and I know that that has been huge because
Yes.
Portia
Yeah,
is
you have to
always
celebrate. We don't celebrate
yeah.
ourselves enough.
I love it because we had a struggle at the beginning, but then we got this. So I love it that you started with a celebration. I'm proud of you for all your accomplishments, and you're going through a lot and you're still out there doing your thing. So I am very proud of you for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I don't know. How did your mission started?
Like I said, I think it was in 2009 when I was being triggered and I didn't even know I was being triggered. I have struggled with anxiety since my mid 20s, um, and have done a lot of healing work, but didn't know I had repressed my abuse up until my early 30s. And so when that really started coming out was when my abuser left the country. And I think my body then knew that it was safe to start coming forward with some of the details. And as you may or may not know, it's not ever one and done. It's not clear right away, especially because I was so young as a child that I repressed it in my body and held back saying the truth. And I think for me, when I got through the hardest of the hard, being a social worker for 17 years helped. And I remember just getting mad at God or universe or source, whoever, people subscribe to. But for me, it was God at that time. And I thought, you know what? I'm angry and I didn't deserve this. And you say you make all things for good, so you better use this for good. And then during the middle of COVID, I decided it was time. I was either going to get my master's degree or become a life coach. And I decided to open my own coaching business. Oftentimes people think, oh my gosh, she's crazy. She just makes these big moves and these big leaps. Two things, what they don't know is one, I do. My faith is very strong. And when I feel guided and in prayer about it, and the time is right, I pull the trigger and I don't look back. And also, I knew people were suffering, especially with COVID coming upon us. Mental health and depression and anxiety were skyrocketing. So, opened my business and just felt that I've always been here to help other people. And if sharing my story helps one person and they can find something relatable, they can find hope, they can find a reason to live, they can know that they're not alone in their suffering. And the more we talk about it, the more we heal, then I've done my job.
Yeah, so do you share part of your story if that's okay? If not, it's okay. We can keep going.
Yeah, yeah. No, I share in She Speaks Her Truth, the women's words changing the world. I have just a brief chapter. So it does talk about my breakdown and suicide attempt. It does explore that for me, it wasn't because I was sad and depressed. My suicide attempt was out of fear. I had such an ingrained fear that someone was going to harm me or kill me that I was going to take the bottle of pills first. And I think from now, looking back of not being protected as a child and growing up with a biological mother who has suffered from manic depression her life, and then a father who now was pretty manipulative, I would say, to me as a little girl, just sharing that truth. And I've been asked along the way, did you ever confront your abuser? And in this chapter, I tell that piece of it. So I won't give too much
Oh,
away. I
no,
think it's
yeah.
definitely worth a read. And then my solo book will tell more about the journey, more about the survivor's journey, and how it's a process. It's never linear. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes anger, it takes rage, it takes grief, it takes power to get through those hard times. And just, having my community of support wrapped around me, the people that were placed in my life who had gone before me, so I could ask them questions and know that, yes, this is real and this is how it comes out for a survivor. And then to do the inspiring part too, like we can make it through, we can still be fucking badass women. It doesn't have to take us down. We don't have to um live in victim mode. Yes, we were victimized, but we get to take our power back and we get to turn our life around and make change in this world. And that's where I'm really proud, is to share some of the things that were helpful for me along my journey, and then just to find again the joy back in life.
I love that, and I love that you share from a survivor perspective, because I just started using the word survivor like 6 months ago, and it gives you a different perspective on your own story. Because for so long, you're stuck in the jargon. Like I said, like for me, I think that my trauma has carried over, like it has happened from birth to 35 years old, but
Yeah,
it's actually, when I speak out loud, it was only 6 months of my life, and the
interesting.
hardcore stuff,
Yeah,
it was 6 months of my life, but I have carried over a decade like it had happened forever. And in one of my interviews, I got triggered, and it happened the same thing. I thought that it was the whole interview, and it comes out that it was just 2 minutes of the interview.
yeah,
So it's like in our head, when we're in the danger zone, it feels so big, and it is big for us at the moment. But when we come out of it and we look at it as we survive that, then it gives it what it is. We were victimized at the moment. We're not victim of the situation.
right.
We survive. We're thriving. I will say we're thriving. Because a
Yes,
lot of people that have gone through similar situations, they don't have as much luck or I don't want to say luck because that's not the right word, the support
Yeah. Yeah.
of
Resources
people
and support.
around, resources, tools. So they might have a different ending,
Yeah.
and it's it's horrible because like I understand one of the therapists told me I should be in a mental health
Yeah.
facility because what we have survived is not, it's not normal for us to be so joyful and wanting to help others and things. But for me personally, I say is the grace of God, you
Yes.
know, because my mom like tried her best and my mama's love in my case. So and then as a grown up is looking for those resources and tools of like, I'm not alone. I know there has to be somebody out there that can relate to me and be in a different place to take me there with them. And I'm glad that in my path, I found Portia. You know, we're going to
Yeah.
talk a lot about Portia. Portia's ears are going to be ringing today.
Yeah. It's so true though, Francie.
But I could feel like she was my first person that she made it okay. Like, come here, baby girl. I will listen to you. There
Yeah.
was no judgment. There was welcoming. And then she has an amazing community as well that was able to help me out and just help others thrive. So yeah, how do you go about your business, your coaching business, and how do you help others get to this place too? You know, like, come on,
Yeah.
girl, we're survivors.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. And I think you're right. I never wanted to claim that before, but I look back and we did survive. We survived something horrible and horrendous that should never happen to children ever. And you're right. We're here. I mean, I was in a mental institution. I was involuntarily committed for 11 days. And I till this day thank my brother for saving my life because I needed help. And as a social worker, I still couldn't get the help that I needed. So just
Oh,
imagine those that aren't used to navigating services, how hard and difficult it is. Because I think they say, which I laugh at, 1 in 4 women have been sexually abused or assaulted. I think it's more like 3 out of 4 from the work I've done, if not almost 4 out of 4. Every person from youth to women in their 60s have come forward. Usually in the first 10 to 15 minutes, they're breaking down crying, saying that this is stuff they've never shared with anyone. And you're right, we've survived to this point, meaning we could be drug addicts. We could
mhm.
be gone from suicide. We could be, um, again, just continuing to live those self-defeating behaviors. When I do the work with my clients, I know that they're called into me. I know that there's always a purpose, that we found each other. Most people have gone through something similar or can relate. And we all just need help for unbiased, non-judgment community is what I provide. I hold neutrality for that client. I walk them through the pain. I let them get it out with no judgment so that we can heal. You know, in my book, the last sentence is what you don't reveal, you cannot heal. And so
Mm.
it's a lot of surrendering. It's a lot of surrendering and just letting go of what we can't control, and then being responsible for our lives and what we can control and take accountability for, and just living in our truth. You know, all of us have a passion and a purpose. I believe that we're all here for great things. And once we get past those limiting beliefs of I'm not worthy or I'm not loved, I don't matter, I'm not enough, you know, those were some of my limiting beliefs that still peak their heads at times, you know, and
Mhm.
I have to change it. That no, that's a lie. That was a limiting belief that I developed as a child, and that no longer defines me anymore. I am worthy and I am enough. And again, it's just holding that sacred space for each client that comes into my practice.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. Oh my goodness, I don't want to lose the train of thought, but like, and I lost it. You know, oh, dang it. Anyways, it went out the window.
It'll come back to you. It'll
It'll
come
come
back.
back. Okay, so yeah, so do you do more of like a one-on-one coaching or group
Yes.
coaching?
All of my coaching right now is one-on-one. I offer 12-week packages. I'm getting ready to offer a 6-month package. Before it was per session and people would coach for me for a year or longer. But I've really developed a concrete 12-week program to get results. And then I'm moving into public speaking as well. So I'll be public speaking here for an event in Washington at a women's networking group, just to get more information out there, and see how I can be of support to other women. Yeah, and then again, hoping to publish this book and get that out on the market so people can read it privately, in their homes. It's definitely a process and no one should rush it. You have to be in support when you start healing and going through things. And support can look different. It could be a therapist, it could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it could be a pastor. Developing those solid core relationships around you for the people that you trust and that you can be real with. Because we do have to grieve that little girl inside, and letting go of some of those wounds and in the past can be hard. Even accepting it sometimes. I wanted to disassociate for so long, and I would say, that girl, that little girl. Well, that little girl is me. And so it's really learning to embrace her, to hold her and be with her, and to mourn for her, not only just celebrate her success, but also just, I think, providing people the time and space to really get to know themselves on a deeper level. And it's not all crying. It's not all painful. There's beautiful things that we get to do together with clients and celebrate their wins, which is really big, to celebrate all of our wins, um, big or small. I think we're changing and I'm getting on another soapbox here, but we're changing the definition of success. Success looks different. And for me, inner healing is success for me.
I love that. And yeah, that's what I was going to go with that. The healing part, there is more like a journey, and it's like a never ending journey for that matter, because I don't think that we get to a place where we're like 1,000%, like it doesn't affect us, or we might still have little triggers and things like
Yeah.
that. But building a strong foundation will bring you back to like, okay, hold up. I was triggered, now
Yes.
let's go and see what's happening. And for me, I go back to a lot of letters to
Yeah.
myself, to the past, to the present, to the future, to the person that hurt me, which I just did one. I haven't finished it. I put to be continued because I was at 5 pages and I was still had stuff to say,
I
but it
love
was
that.
different this time because I did it in a way of gratitude.
Yes.
And I did not expect gratitude for that person, so
Yeah.
I'm in a different journey now with my
Yeah.
healing and
So
getting
beautiful.
rid of the shame, because I did
Yeah.
carry a lot of shame and guilt and responsibility that didn't
Yes.
belong to me. And once you realize that, is life changing.
It's so true, Francie. Thank you for saying that and for sharing, because I myself, at 45, am just really seeing blaming myself. I just had a tough conversation with a family member the other day where I won't carry that blame anymore. I didn't deserve this and I didn't choose this, and so yeah, when we can get to that place of gratitude, I have gratitude for the things he taught me, for getting my degree and going to school and being a generous person and learning to travel the world. That I'm grateful for. The other things, no, but it's part of my path. It's part of who I am. It's made me who I am today, and it's something I can't change. But you're absolutely right. There's a speaker who once said that self-healing is a lifestyle, and it's so true.
Oh,
It's a
I
lifestyle.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
write that down.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Self-healing is a lifestyle, and it's so true. And that's the lifestyle that I live. You have to let go of the perfectionism. I'm guilty and can get caught up in that. But just to be real, we're human, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and life isn't always easy, but it's worth it.
Definitely. So on a fun part, like, oh my
Yes, I was gonna say, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. That's been intense.
goodness. Let's talk just a little bit, not too many details about the retreat and how we met, but at least, the feelings, the emotions, and things like that that people can relate to. Because we don't want to
Yeah.
say too much about her program, but it's like freaking amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Portia
So,
is unbelievable. And I've been in a Soul Society group with her for, gosh, a little over 2 years. I had met her in person once before. And then I knew spiritually she was the next guide I needed in my life. She's a powerhouse. She is small, but she is mighty. And I knew she could take me to the next level, just relating so much on the trauma that we've experienced and needing that worth again, knowing to step into my power and not be afraid of my power and letting those wounds, come to the surface to be healed. And so, yeah, it was such a beautiful thing. Again, as I lead most of my life, I was passionate about it. I heard what Portia had to offer and I jumped in without asking a lot of questions. I didn't know what I was in for, and she doesn't give a lot of detail, which I love. And it was a beautiful retreat with women who just were so aligned with me. And that's where I met you and got to listen to your testimony. And we just all came together as a sisterhood, really. Just such a sisterhood of beautiful healing and beautiful release and tons of laughter and tons of celebration. Again, just celebrating and honoring who we are as women.
and I can tell you, like, even from people that know, because I went to the retreat the year before.
Okay.
So it's two retreats in a row. And even knowing what to expect, you're still like nervous and you're like, I still don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I was nervous going in, but it was like a different vibe. There was gonna be more women on this one, and I was gonna get to speak and be like a
Amazing.
professional speaker, and it was like,
Yes. Yeah.
oh my god. But it was so amazing for me. So the first day I was still resistant, you
Yeah.
know. And because I'm more comfortable with her, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna let her know. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. It was the yoga, girl, the yoga, because being silent.
Yeah.
I am an extrovert. I am out there. I need my music. Like now, one of my partners, is trying to get no radio on in the car, and it
Oh, yeah.
stresses the out of me because it's that silence.
Yeah.
So the second day doing it, like I felt a wall just be crushed because I was like, okay, silence is not that bad.
Yeah, yeah. And we get into a culture, right, where we're inundated, we're busy. That's a lot of self-abandonment, right? We don't want to be still with ourselves. We want social media, we want Netflix, we want alcohol, we want food, we want all these other things and all this other stimulation so we don't have to just sit and be still with our thoughts. And again, you and I both know, like, we can change our thoughts at any point. Thoughts are
Yeah,
just thoughts, right?
yeah.
We have to take control of that. But what was beautiful too, Francie, is I think, and you can share your feedback with me, when we went into that sacred space and we were there, and it's uncomfortable at first when you walk in and you don't know everybody, but Portia does such an elegant job of making everyone feel comfortable and safe. And I think it's trust, right? For us,
Mm-hmm.
we're learning to trust
Yeah.
again at a totally different level than we ever have before. So when you know that you can trust people around you and you're supported, that's huge. That's huge. And I
And
remember
trust
listening
woman.
to yeah, yeah, exactly, right? If you have a deep hurt from women that you don't trust, and mine happened to be men before, but now I'm going through my own, hurts with mother figures. I'll put it out there. It's deep wounds, but gosh, when you can come together and celebrate. And I knew you were nervous, but it helped me heal. Even though I've been at this for so long, it helped me heal in hearing your story that, again, we're not alone. We're not alone in this, and we can all help to bring each other up and be encouraging for one another, and just see the light that we all are here to shine. And I
Oh.
love watching you. I love your laughter. I love Life with Francie. Again, didn't know much about it, but I was like, hell yeah, girl, I will be on your podcast. I'm here for you. Anything. This is the fun part. This is the fun part that we get to do.
Yeah, it was. It was so lovely. And then like switching and feeling like a queen. It's just
Yeah.
so liberating to know
Yes.
that even in our darkest times and things like that, that we can come out of it and build a strong community around you of people that love you, that support you, that see you
Yeah.
and understand. And I'm not gonna get emotional. I got this. I got this.
But we're all a reflection of each other. Yeah,
It
and you know what,
was.
Francie, you nailed it. When we as women can come together and drop the competition and the comparison, beautiful things happen.
Yeah, 100%. So, oh my gosh, I love this. Thank you so much for coming. I
You're
mean, I
so
knew we were gonna have
welcome.
a good time, and we
I
did
know you and I
good.
will have lots more laughs together.
Yes, yes, girl. So, is there anything else that you would like my listeners to know about you?
Gosh. I love my dog. I even put a little quote in the back of the book about me as an author about Paco. Um, and just pick things that feel good. You know, if it doesn't feel good and you don't feel supported, there's others out there. Reach out. And sometimes the best healing is a stranger who doesn't know your story, who doesn't know what happened, that you can just open up to that's unbiased. And have fun. You know, like Portia reminds us, go out and play, go out and bring yourself that joy and that laughter. You know, I think my grandma once said too, if you can laugh about anything in life, you can get through it, right? If we can all just find that laughter. So, no, I mean, I just look for my book called Living Unashamed, hopefully to be out by the end of this year. You can reach me at www.cairns, and it's spelled CAIRNS coaching.com. I do private one-on-one sessions, and I am getting ready to start opening up some group sessions myself, which I think is awesome. And yeah, just for inspiration, if not anything, just for camaraderie. You know, there's no pressure. You don't have to become one of my clients, but if you want to, you can. And again, it's just about celebrating each other and learning what you're doing, how you're succeeding in life, what's helped you, Francie. And again, just being ourselves, just authentically living our purpose and being ourselves.
I love that. So I will have all get the link to your website on the show notes. So and once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know, we're besties for
Yes, thank
life.
you, Francie. Keep doing what you do, girl. I love your show, and I'm so excited that I was able to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. I love it. I love to have people that I know. So please, if you know if somebody knows me, come on my podcast. And especially a strong woman like you that is out there and your mission is necessary because we do need to like love ourselves more
Yeah.
and you know get to a better place after our
Yeah.
darkest
Yeah.
days. I always say the darkness doesn't stay forever. It looks like it at the moment, but you can't find the light. Or like Portia tells me, you are the light.
Yes, ma'am, you are. Love it, girl.
Oh, alrighty. Well, hope you enjoy this interview. You know, you can find my podcast in every major platform as well as my YouTube channel. So do your thing, like and subscribe, and hope you have a blessed day.
Bye, Francie. Thank you.
Bye.